Welcome to Can Angels Fly, Tarot and More. My name is Nancy. This is a sound check. Welcome to Can Angels Fly, Tarot and More. My name is Nancy. This is a sound check. Really? Oh, there it goes. Think, um, yeah, I think I did everything. I told them to change that cotton picking. Oh my God, stay calm, stay calm, stay calm. I'ma stay calm. Hello, welcome to Can Angels Fly. I'm Nancy. Apologize, I almost blew up. I told them to change the battery in the alarm and it left out and didn't do it. I was about to blow up, but I'm gonna stay calm. I decided to stay calm. Hi Evelyn, how you been doing? Hi Miss Nancy, how are you? I'm doing fine. I was just thinking of you the other day that you haven't been on. Yes, I haven't been on. So today I'm on. I don't want to be on here a long time. I'm gonna try to cut it down. Uh, it's hard for me to cut it down and give you all the messages. So first thing I want to talk about, and I have notes that I've accumulated just in my research. And what have I been researching? It's been astrology. I keep up with the times, even if I don't come on and report. And so I just want to give you an astrological update as well as a projection for, the future. There are certain things that astrology shows have been taking place and will continue to take place relative to people, the people in humanity at this time. And it's that it has pointed out in the past, and we've talked about it, that all of us have been traumatized one way or another, whether it's something we experienced or something we witnessed. I talked about it. I talked about it relative to the id, as in Sigmund Freud, the id, the ego, and the superego, and how the id has been negatively impacted by its avatar's experiences or something that the avatar, the person, has witnessed. Examples are the Holocaust. I talked about what was it called? Don't get a brain freeze. That report that Orson Welles did about the invasion, alien invasion, scared the heck out of people. Once people found out it was just some story time, radio story time, it still did not negate the fact that it negatively had a negative impact upon people's sense of security in the world. Now, I just offered a couple of examples, but I'm sure there are thousands of scenarios, situations, and circumstances, scenarios as mentioned, that have occurred through, in the history of humanity that people have either directly experienced, and or witnessed and left a negative impact upon what they did and their psyche and all that kind of stuff. And so I bring that up again because astrology points that out and focuses on that aspect of our human existence during this time period. When I say during this time period, I'm talking about like a 10-year stretch, or so, which the astrology is pointing to. So we're talking about for 10 years, that aspect of our being traumatized is spotlighted. Period. It'll always be there, or at least for the next 10 years. Not even the next 10 years, we're already in the midst of it. So we're a 10-year period. Anyway, the next thing astrology has pointed out, and it will continue to stay in play for some time. When I talk about for some time, I'm talking about for some years. We already been in it. I think we've been in this part of the astrological energy for the last 3 years or so. And it will continue for some time, for some years. And it has to do with our sense of physical, worldly security and stability. That's to say, if you have what you need or not in order to live a reasonable life. That'll stay, for some time. And I'm pointing that out because it's relevant and it's important, and it will continue to be so. The next thing that astrology has pointed out, and I haven't just gone into this aspect independently. I have talked about it when I give reports. But what's also very important is trying to get out of an uncomfortable experience. The uncomfortable experience is the fear of not being physically secure during our life. And it's the struggle. It's the trying to get to a better place, And so the astrology also points that out, how we're constantly struggling. We are trying to take matters into our own hands. We're leaning upon our own understanding. We're trying to overcome the struggle, survive the struggle, end up in a better place. But the astrology says that we are, how can I say, because it's in conjunction with another alignment in the astrological wheel to say, it's really not in your hands. It's really not in your hands. But I want to point that out. What am I saying? I'm saying for some time, and for the past few years, as well as into the future, we constantly struggling trying to get to this better place, and thinking things are, we can take control of our own destiny, so to say, and do things our way, is going to continue to play out. But we really don't know that things are not, our fate, our destiny is not in our own hands. Nor can we lean upon our own understanding to rescue ourselves. Anywho, on an individual basis, I'll see it like that. The next thing that astrology has pointed out in the past, and it still will continue to be a spotlighted area in our area of experience for humanity, is that we're undergoing a paradigm shift. We're moving from an old paradigm into a new paradigm. The structures that once established and governed us and helped us facilitate our existence are being destroyed. Not completely destroyed. They're being destroyed or deconstructed for the purpose of what? Renovation. They're being resurrected or redefined. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the various social structures, the different type of roles we can play. So that we're undergoing that now. We're in the thick of it. Another thing astrology talked about that will be long standing is this promised land. This promised land. How do I say this? Well, I already talked about how we trying to take things in our own hands and trying to be in charge of our own destiny, and we're gonna keep on trying, but truth is, we can't see that our destiny is really not in our hands, at least not on an individual basis. Now, the other side of that is that there is a promised land. What is the promised land? See, we trying to make our own promised land. We're trying to venture to or create a promised land or destination for ourselves, that better place. And it's been a struggle. Will continue to be a struggle, especially on an individual basis. So it's this promised land, and I did do a video talking about the promised land, and so that continues to be spotlighted. This promised land, what is this promised land? So I guess I can say in short, the promised land is the new paradigm, whatever it actually ends up being. Not what we imagine it to be, not what we want it to be, not what we individually striving to try to get to, not that promised land. It is the promised land that has been designed by the powers. Okay. And the last thing that astrology spotlights, and has spotlighted for some time, and it will continue to be relevant, is the impact prevailing or dominant philosophies will have on our future, what really unfolds, that promised land. I'll try to make it make sense, trying to move fast, because I got quite a few notes I want to read. I didn't bring them all. That would be impossible. But some that I feel are important. Right now I'm dealing with astrology. That promised land that does exist has been created by the powers. That promised land has been designed or developed by or in alignment with those powers' beliefs and philosophies and ideologies and different things like that. It's all about them and what they want the world to look like, how they want the world to function, and those are what I've coined the predominant or dominant philosophies. Yeah. And if the powers are successful in imposing those beliefs and philosophies upon the masses, it is going to force the masses to adhere to those rules, regulations, policies, or those ideologies or philosophies. And it's going to force the people to behave certain ways and things like that, meaning your practices. Okay? So what have I been rambling about so far? I'm talking about what is in astrology, what has appeared in astrology, the subjects that have appeared in astrology and are highlighted and spotlighted and will continue to be important in our experience for some years. I'm talking about at least 10 years or even more. Okay. Anyway. Oh, okay. That's relevant. Now, what I want to talk about. I don't know. I don't know what would be better. I don't know. Hi, how you doing, Yanni? Good vibes. You, Nancy. How's Detroit? Detroit's pretty good. Suburbs of LA, nicer and quiet. Nice and quiet. That's a good thing. It's been really nice here. Weather has been a little unstable. 1 minute is summer and the next minute is late fall. But I live in Michigan, so I guess that's to be expected. So what do I want to talk about now? I don't know. I'm trying to see. I talked about the id and it being negatively impacted. Oh, maybe I can just read the summary I have for each study. I try to always write a summary or a word or term to sum up what I just researched. Anyway, this is for October 5th. I don't know if you can see it. October 5th. And I don't know if you can see the writing over here. It says new magic. New magic. What does that mean? I'm trying to keep it short. What it means is that the powers have new magic spells to put the masses up under. They already have these spells created, and they already are using them on humanity. Another thing that I saw in astrology was that, how can I say that? We are currently going through the awakening where the masses are waking up and they're seeing the details, the true details to our reality. Remember, I was just saying, hey, the powers got this new magic and they putting it down on the people and on the masses. Anyway, this magic. Hello? Huh? I did. Thank you. What's wrong with your phone? Your phone is horrible. It's messing up. Oh, and what are you saying? Barely. Well, call me when you get home, because it's not important. I am live. Okay, we going to call me when you get home. Bye. Oh, well, you at home and your phone doing that? Oh, no. Something wrong. Alright, still a mom, y'all. Didn't change behind the scenes. So I answered the phone when my kids called. It took so long because I couldn't really hear. I had to make sure it wasn't something important. And so, anywho, what was I talking about? I was talking about the new magic. The new magic spells that the powers are casting upon the masses when the masses are currently going through an awakening. But the powers have to stop the awakening. They have to stop it. Why do they have to stop it? In order for them to keep their supremacy, they have to do what? Put the people back to sleep or dumb them down. Now, what's happening with the computer? Am I still live? I forgot how to tell if I'm still live. I guess. Oh, over here. Okay. So they have to put them back to sleep. And it is these new magic spells that the powers are using that will soon put the people back to sleep. Now, it was, I think, December's astrology that I took a look at, in which it shows the effects of these new spells that will be cast or are being cast upon the people that put them back to sleep. Come December, the people begin to fall back to sleep, to become sheeple once again. It's like the powers successfully stop, or not, they can't completely stop, but they kind of significantly slow down the awakening. They block it. They, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't even know. I keep going. Anyway, so this one is about new magic. Anything important here? It's a lot of important stuff. My videos just be so long ago. Another thing astrology is showing is that the powers, those people with the predominant or the dominant ideologies, worldviews, philosophies, all that, they're getting sick and tired of the rebellion. They're sick of it. Their patience has run thin. Let's see. The notes here. Here's a note I have relative to what I'm talking about. It says the renovation process is moving forward successfully. Renovation process is moving forward successfully. What renovation process? That shift from the old paradigm into the new paradigm. The paradigm shift. The reorganization of our world structure and system is going along successfully. And the reason why I wanted to share that summary right there out of this set of notes is because it's a report. What's a report? The astrology is a report. Maybe I can go somewhere else with this real quick. This is October. So last month when I was doing my astrological studies, I finally understood the format of astrology. Let me say this. In times past, in the last couple of years, I would say to you, ladies and gentlemen, I said, hey, I'm really trying to figure out what astrology is. I said, sometimes it seems like it's God talking to man, and other times it seems like it's man talking to man. But I wasn't sure what astrology really is. But last month, that'd be September, near the end of September, when I was doing my studies, I got a much more clear understanding Astrology is truly a report, but it's a report for, how do I say this? I don't know. Astrology is a report. How can I say this? Or correspondence between the powers. And when I'm talking about the powers, I'm not talking about like the president and maybe it is the queen because she on another level. I get if you new to my channel, I know nothing that I'm saying makes sense. It's only if you've followed me and you've heard me share my work. Anyway, I asked you to ride the wave with me, whether you've been with me here on my channel or not. But there are different, there's a hierarchy that exists in our realm, and a hierarchy of beings. There are those that are the 1 to 2 percenters, and there are the ones, how can I say this? Let me try to, articulate it. I'll say the 1 percenters are possibly off world, meaning alien of some type, another species. And I've talked about the species multiple times. The last time I was able to talk about it in detail was after I had my peyote trip. I ate my edible. I talked about it. It was a piece of sweet potato pie with cannabis in it. And I came face to face with this other species, the superior species. Them. Are we going to consider them on my channel? The 1%. Then there is the 2 percenters. Who falls in the range of the 2 percenters? Like the Queen of England. You know what I'm saying? And we can talk about the wealthiest people in the world, and how do we know that they fit in that category? Well, we know that the Queen fit in the 2% range because she is interacting directly with these 1 percenters, these extraterrestrial beings, this other species that is superior to mankind. That's how we know the Queen is in the next column of the hierarchy, row of the hierarchy. She is corresponding with that species. Her family is up under the authority of that species. In that same area as Queen Elizabeth, the 2 percenters, we can put all our wealthiest people in the world, the people that are billionaires. How do we know that they go into that row? We know that they go into that row because of their level of intellect, their level of awareness and consciousness about what? Primarily our reality and the ability to, or the material world, and their ability to manipulate the substances in this world to have us technologically advanced. I'm saying something blind. Sorry. So they go in at 2%. Then it goes down to the 3%. And in the 3 to 5% range, who are they? They are our wealthy people or rich people in the world, people with power and prestige, maybe like the presidents and things like that. And the hierarchy continues to descend down until it gets to the 99% of the people. It ain't the whole 99%. We got to, deduct all the other rows, but that's getting too detailed. So the masses. Why are the masses the masses? How can you know if you fit in the row of the masses? It's because your intellect is limited, your resources and your influence is limited. You have no consciousness or awareness about these extraterrestrial beings or other species involvement or interest with humanity and the world and its resources. You have no idea. Okay. And so why am I talking about this? Because I'm trying to share with you what I've come to understand astrology being. It is the correspondence between the 1 percenters and even the 2 percenters. If they have something to say to the queen or the billionaires, they communicate with them through astrology. They communicate through astrology amongst each other, talking about the superior, beings. So, astrology is a report, and it gives a report of our status. Whose status? Well, what about, how you say, we got the 1%ers, the extraterrestrial, we got the 2%ers, that's the queen and the billionaires, and then it keeps on, the hierarchy comes on down to get to the masses. It's a status report about who's doing what as they progress on their agenda. They're on the Evan agenda. The agenda is what? World domination. Whether you believe it or not, that's what it's about. Why would they want to dominate this earth? It's because this earth and everything on it is resources. Is a resource. It's some form of fuel. It allows not only us to technologically advance, it allows them to technologically advance. They need the resources. Everything from our bodies, our souls, gold, where there's a quartz, a diamond, a crystal, or some other, rare or even reoccurring frequent gemstone or natural metal. That's why. This is a treasure chest. The planet Earth is a treasure chest that this other species can pull from. So anyway, the correspondence, astrology is correspondence. It offers a status report about what's occurring as they progress on their agenda. And another thing astrology is I got it written down. It's law. And I realized that. I was like, man, I'm picking up law and astrology and different things like that. And I was like, it's communication. Hands down. You can sum it up under umbrella of communication. When it comes to astrology. And I'm not talking about was like not meant for like you and me to communicate. It's not really for us. We've intercepted it. Certain people have become knowledgeable and number one, aware of astrology and became knowledgeable and then well versed in it, and we intercepted their correspondence. Whose correspondence? This other species correspondence amongst themselves, as well as the 2%ers that have manifested in the physical in this world. We intercepted it. And so now I want to talk about astrology as a legal, dialogue. As a legal is something else. I'm going to read my notes. I'm trying not to read them. I haven't been on here in a while, so I'm just sharing, trying to catch up. Yeah, I'm trying to ride the wave. And I've been studying astrology for, I'm going to say, I'm losing track of time, about 17 years or something like that. I'm going to say about 17 years. Either 15 or 17 years I've been studying astrology. I'm self-taught. I always tell y'all I'm an amateur. But over the time, as I've been, educating myself in this field of astrology, I kept being able to apply legal terminology in some of the interpretations. And I talked about law on here, and the reason why I talked about law and my own legal battles, was because I kept seeing law terms being able to be applied to some of the astrological interpretations. So in September, by the time I did my interpretation in September, I realized after I interpreted the astrological alignments for, I think, October. I don't know, was it October or was it actually September? I don't know what time period this was. write down a date, but I know this was either, I think this was in September. I did this in September, I think. Anyway, I realized I had wrote out a whole legal document. I was like, hot dang. Now, y'all know I haven't been on here. I haven't been on YouTube for a while. But even though I'm not actively on YouTube as a creator, I still am a person that enjoys YouTube. So I watch YouTube videos for everything from recipe to cooking recipes to arts and crafts. I watch YouTube, and I always talk about how YouTube suggests certain videos for me to watch. And so last week, YouTube suggested a video for me to watch. And it was a person that I've talked about before, that I've seen before. And her name, she's an astrologer, I do believe. Her name is True Brilliance. So I clicked on True Brilliance video and I watched it. And she said something I ain't heard nobody else say that I had found back in September. I don't know when she found her information. I found mine back in September. And so immediately, with my ego, I got an attitude. As if I'm the greatest. As if I'm like Muhammad Ali, I'm the greatest, you know. And when I heard her say it, I said, kudos. I know she real. I know that True Brilliance is real. And the reason I know that she's real, and she don't know me, she don't probably even know about me. But I know when somebody real and when they ain't. When I'm talking about real, I'm talking about really an astrologer, really into this art, really has mastered themselves relative to this particular field of study, which is astrology, is because of the messages they come up with. It's hard work to do, to interpret astrology. It really is. So when she said what she said, and I'm gonna talk about it in a minute. First, again, my ego, reared up, and then I had to give it over to her. Like, she know what she's talking about, and it's not the first time that I've watched her. She doesn't make videos a lot, but every time that I have watched her, and the little tidbits of her videos that I watch, she always on point. We have the same message. So what I'm saying in short, I know she good. So if you're looking for somebody to watch, True Brilliance is true. Anyway, what did True Brilliance say? What did I hear True Brilliance say that stands true? The same message that I found. And I don't like, I'm going to tell you, let me stop. Let me say hi, bar. My ego. I don't ever want anybody to think that I am stealing anybody else's information. I don't. I know in order to come up with this message, the extent of involvement a person has to have. But a person that's not in this field don't know it. And I just feel like I might as well not tell it because she didn't told it. That was my ego. But I come back. I done came back. I done got control of myself once again. And so I'm back. What did I hear True Brilliance say that is true? She was like, we have been judged. We have been judged. And I kept seeing it in my whole channel over the last 5 years. I've been talking about we being judged. We've been judged. The judgment, the gavel has come down on this. Is not just humanity on this realm, on the material world. The gavel has come down on us. So let me try to go. I know I'm all over the place. Might as well be in Aquarius rant because I ain't got no water. But what do? I actually just ride the wave with me, if you will. I'm trying to go somewhere with it, or it may not. I don't know. Anywho, back to me getting to this place where I truly could define astrology. And under an umbrella, it is a correspondence. It is a correspondence. It is correspondence, and it comes in the forms of reports, status reports, which talks about the progression of progression as far as the execution of plans and different things like that. Status reports on humanity as far as our physical uh, state, as well as our soul state status reports. And it's also is legal correspondence. It's this correspondence going back where we can say the judge, whoever stands supreme as the judge, and I'm talking about on a galactic or cosmic level. This is something else Drew Brains was saying. It's on a cosmic level. It's not on this mundane physical level. This is cosmic. And you know what? I guess another reason I'm all over the place, Aquarius rant, I don't care, is people, we weren't bred to believe this stuff. And it brings me to tears for real that humanity is failing because we are so lost. We are lost. We can't accept that we've been improperly influenced. We can't accept that we've been miseducated. We can't accept that we cannot accept that we truly cannot explain our existence or anything else, but yet we still can't change. We can't open our minds up to, this whole new concept that there's a cosmic population, or I'm going to say cosmic population, cosmic social structures way bigger than ours. There is a cosmic or a galactic judicial system, and the gavel has come down on Iran, including humanity. Anyway, over time, I'm all over the place, I know. As I've been teaching myself over time, I convert or decode the stars. And I come up with statements or streams of words, or I pull things, when it rings a bell from the Bible or any historical studies I've done. Y'all know I'm our history major. And I apply it. It sometimes it can be applied in the decoding. And so I was like, okay, I told y'all sometimes I could put the biblical scriptures there, this there, fit perfect. Like, how is that possible? I'm trying to say something, but I'm forgetting. I'm forgetting, y'all. It's okay. It's all right. I gotta learn how to be short-winded. I'm gonna continue YouTube. But it's just so fascinating to me. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. Anywho, in September, I'm jumping. I'm talking about as I was training myself. Some of the terminology I got to where I could apply was legal terminology. In law, when you write legal correspondences, there's a certain structure, there's certain vocabulary, things like that. Very specific to law. Very specific to law. And so when I'm doing astrology, I'm like, hey, these very specific law terms, statements, quotes, or whatever, fit perfectly when I'm decoding the stars. So every now and then, I would find one of those quotes, legal quotes, that fit perfect. And when I'm, interpreting the tarot cards to you ladies, with you ladies and gentlemen, for you ladies and gentlemen, or if I'm doing live astrology studies, you will hear me say certain statements or stream of words or terms that are what? Legal in nature. An example, when it comes to Aries motto is I am. We all know that. In law, when you are writing a correspondence, you open up and say, I am who? Who are you? I am Nancy. What? You would say, I am whoever you are. That's how you open up the legal thing. And you write your straw man name. What's your straw man name? Your name all written out in capital letters. Yeah, that's law. So what am I saying? I'm saying the zodiac sign Aries motto is I am. It is astrology is correspondence. It is also legal correspondence. Who's corresponding? The 1%ers with each other and with the 2%ers. Aries, the I am says I am, or whoever you are. I am Nancy in this case. That's how you open up every legal document. And then not only are you, how do I say, when you open up any letter, if you're trying to persuade somebody or anything, it's just in writing, period. You got to put it all out there. I am in pursuit of. See, Aries is in pursuit of. It's going. I, Nancy, am in pursuit of this, and that. This is law. This is exactly what I'm saying, how astrology is set up. The first house through the 12th house. And it says, like how would I say? I, Nancy, am in pursuit of trying to get you to understand what I'm talking about. I don't know. The second house is Taurus. The second house of Taurus is I have. That's the general motto that's basically taught to anybody that's interested in astrology. But the true statement that goes with Taurus is not only I have, but it is in support of. That's another legal terminology or statement. In support of. In support of what? Who I am as Nancy. Not only who I am as Nancy, but I got this evidence out of this world, whatever it is, to support me in trying to pursue getting you to understand me. That don't probably make no sense that I do it. I don't know how to make it sound no better. Yeah, just Aquarius ran it all out. I'm saying. It's all legal terminology. Anyway, and that continues throughout the whole astrological blueprint. First house, Aries, all the way to Pisces, 12th house. It's all legal. Anyway, in September, I'm interpreting the stars. And once again, I come up with a clear, comprehensive, legal document. And it's galactic. That's what I need you to get. It's galactic. It's not man talking to man. It is the supreme talking to those that represent us in this material world. And it's like, how can I say, I'll try to make it make sense now a little bit. It's like, over the history of humanity was thrown under the bus. That's what it seemed like to me. We were misled and improperly influenced. We was thrown up under the bus. And it's like, at some point in time, the judge, the true authority, I'm talking about galactically, said, okay, y'all on trial, humanity. We didn't know we was on trial, but we was on trial. And we had people that represented us like, it's like actually parallel to court. When you in real court, where you have you retaining a lawyer to represent you. You don't know as just a mundane, everyday person, simple. You don't, everything going on in the court flying over your head. All the terminology they use and flying over your head. You don't get it. So you do what? You go get your attorney. You retain your attorney because the attorney speak their language. And you just sit back. And that's like what happened with humanity in this cosmic scheme of things. Is that this material world was in trouble. And we went to court at some time. This was probably in the distant past. Way distant past. We were in trouble. And we went to court. And we got put on probation. This is what it seemed like. We got put on probation. Once we were on probation, we just a mundane person. All of humanity, just mundane, sitting in court, galactic court. We don't know nothing We ain't understanding nothing that's going on, but we have these representatives that we have elected over the history of humanity to stand up for us and go to court and talk for us. They play our attorneys, in this cosmic court. And so the judge told them, say, these are the stipulations, humanity. This is what you must do. And then we're going to come back. We're going to recess court, cosmic court, and we're going to come back. Come back. Did y'all know we've been to court again? Humanity, the material world, has been to court again. Our court date passed. That's what True Brilliance was picking up on. That's what I picked up on. We just went to court, and we was found guilty. We did not follow the stipulations. It was our second. We had a second chance, and we failed. We got thrown under the bus, though. Who threw us under the bus? Those attorneys that we retained for humanity. You know what I'm saying? That spoke the language of the cosmic courts. Humanity don't know nothing about it. Over the decades and the centuries, we didn't become oblivious and totally detached, and don't know we retained these cosmic attorneys to represent us in cosmic court. So since we don't know, and they know, they did what? Threw us under the bus. How did they throw us under the bus? By misleading us, miseducating us, etc., etc. So now imagine it like this: the judge comes to us. We'll say that the judge comes back down here to us, and now the galactic court takes place, and the judge say, "Give me all your reports." Astrology, all those reports, status reports. So the judge, the cosmic judge, this is what has happened, y'all. This is exactly what has happened. Looks over all of the astrological alignments, because we're talking about something supernatural here. We deem supernatural. And these status reports about humanity, the state of their soul, or our soul, our physical, how we take care of ourselves physically, how we take care of the world, how we've been using the resources, and da-da-da-da-da. So this cosmic judge will look over all of this. And the attorneys that made an argument on both sides. So, because it's another side too now that has, obviously wanted this material world, physicality, to be held accountable for something. And the judge said, nope, we're going to give them another chance. Think of it like that. Anyway, that time period, that time period, a second chance period to redeem ourselves, to do right, has transpired, collapsed, or, ended. And we went back to cosmic court recently. And so the judge looked over the last reports and everything, and read all the summaries. I kept telling y'all, in astrology, sometimes it seems like a summary, sometimes it seems like a status report, and sometimes it seems like God was talking, and sometimes it seemed like man was talking to man. I was like, what is going on here? But it was this report right here. That's what I'm trying to get to. That's what I'm rambling about. It was this report right here, I think it's September, when I did the interpretation of stars. This showed the judgment. And the judgment was that man, or material world, found guilty. The hammer came down. It said that because we didn't get it together, remember, I think we were thrown under the bus by the attorneys, the black attorneys retained for whatever selfish purpose they had. But that's a whole nother video. And try not to make this video too long. So, the judge said, I'm going to stop right here because I'm rambling, trying to remember. I got so many notes. So I'm just going to read all of this. Just read. Now, I don't know exactly what it say. So I don't know if I got any grammar errors or anything. I'm just going to read because I really don't remember all the details. I just know the concepts and stuff like that. So what am I reading now? These are the notes that followed my September, I do believe, astrological research that really solidified for me that astrology is correspondence, and correspondence of different types, but with a primary focus on like legal communications. And so I wonder, can I find it? I don't know. See, I don't think this is, I think these are the notes that follow. These are the notes that follow. That's it. The notes that follow. And I say the notes that follow because it was what the astrological interpretation revealed. And it was, again, that it almost seems like it was saying, if I can just recall, is that man in the material world was found lacking, basically sinful. And when I say sinful, I'm talking about like misusing this realm. We haven't cared for our soul, different things like that. And it is our team, our attorneys, after they gave like their closing or their argument to the galactic judge, they like again threw us under the bus. Like, nope, they didn't, heal their souls. Nope, they didn't become resourceful and wise with the treasures of the world. Nope, they didn't do it. What you gonna do, judge? And the judge was like, oh well, they everything's guilty, and because they have been found guilty, I, the judge, once again intervene, and I give authority of this realm, the material realm, the 3D, to the attorneys. Like, so we're started talking about what they call a custodialship, or they become our representatives. First they were just overseers, overseeing, kept reports and sent the reports into the judge, that kind of thing. Now they are like our custodials. They are in control of the material world. So let me go back and talk about one of the very first videos I made when I started YouTube. I think it was called, what was it called? It was talking about the covenant between man and God. The covenant between man and God. And I swear to God, right now, you ain't supposed to swear on God, but I'm going to swear on God. At that point in time, I don't know what led me to start my channel with that video. The covenant between man and God. And it was that, in religiously, Christian doctrine, from the Christian doctrine, it's the ideology teaches that God gave man dominion over this earth, meaning control, rulership, mankind, humanity. That's what my very first video was about here on YouTube. It was an introduction video, and then that one, the covenant between man and God. Why? I have no idea. That's weird. And now here it goes. So that was the original covenant. But now, keeping that in mind, that man was granted dominion over the 3D world by God. We are supposed to be the caregivers, good stewards over this 3D realm and all that's within it. Since that time, we have been removed from our consciousness and awareness about our role in our relationship with this 3D realm. We have been improperly influenced and then miseducated, and it has continued for generation after generation. And we have become poor stewards over this realm. And the reason why is because we gave responsibility to a select few to maintain this 3D realm. And those were the same entities or people we couldn't trust, generation after generation. And those same people or beings were reporting. They always knew about this cosmic judge and this cosmic judgment, reporting back and forth or corresponding back and forth with this cosmic judge. And the cosmic judge is constantly giving humanity chance after chance after chance. But they intended to do so. They were trying to, and they did successfully, make mankind look bad to the judge. Why? Because they wanted to take guardianship or control of this realm, world domination. They wanted. They didn't have, how to say. What's difficult for me right here, right now, is because we have our real world that we know of. We have our real district courts and things, Supreme Courts, and we have an idea about how it play out. Well, that also exists what? Cosmically. And it's hard to fathom that there is a cosmic judicial system and that we have been in cosmic court for centuries and centuries. What's thousands of years, what would that be? Whatever it is, 1,000 years or whatever it is. Anywho, going back to these court proceedings that have been taking place. And now I guess personally I can also try to dismiss what I'm talking about or anybody else because it's so religious. See, the truth was being told to us all over the world. Every culture, every religion, every language, every nationality. And so we can associate this with, different compartments of life, like religion. Say, oh, that's religion, or that's legal, or that's that. It's all been all about this cosmic contract, a cosmic contract. That's what it's all about. That's why we can relate it to everything. Everybody knows, and I kept saying it like it's saying everybody know, and it's saying it now. You knew, you already knew. You just made yourself blind to it. But again, that's the magic that existed in the old paradigm. See, it's been different sets of magic performed upon the masses of the people to keep you asleep while this transition took place. Now, my question is, I'm all over the place. I know I am. How do we alert this cosmic judge? That's what I don't understand. How do we alert this cosmic judge that there has been some foul play? The representatives of humanity in the 3D, it's been foul play. They were corrupt. They were absolutely corrupt. Anyway, and why were they corrupt? Going back to it is because they didn't have, and I was bringing up the our real physical world law and the cosmic law, and both of them have both of them have, what is it called? You have to have legal rights. Legal right to something. Legal right of possession. How did humanity, come into having legal right? Possession. It was granted to us by, I guess, the Creator. Just like the Bible says, it was granted to us. That's how we have literally cosmic legal right to the 3D realm. And I guess there was some stipulations that says, hey, if you can't handle this, responsibility of caregiving for this 3D realm, then we'll hand it over to someone else. And so the attorneys, the cosmic attorneys that humanity obviously collectively hired, again, were corrupt. And they manipulated us into failing, to making us look bad before this cosmic judge. And did so, the astrology, back to September, I do believe, if it was August or September, I think it was September, shows that they successfully have led this cosmic judge to think poorly of humanity. And this time, the cosmic judge has had no choice but to make a more harsh judgment. And the harsh judgment is that now humanity, you're no longer legally, legally, you no longer have legal control over the 3D realm. We don't have it. And because humanity, you don't have you don't have control over the 3D realm anymore legally. The judge has to take the 3D realm and give it over to somebody that can be trusted. And the judge believes, this cosmic judge believes, that our attorneys that we retained are trustworthy. And so has put the 3D realm in their care legally, signed, stamped, gavel down. First, we were found sinners and wanting and lacking and just incompetent. Oh, that was another thing. Another terms that came up. That's legal terms: negligence and incompetence. Humanity is negligent and incompetent. I kept telling y'all, say, hey, this astrology is saying we are morons. And it said we're negligent and incompetent. That's what the attorneys, the various attorneys, including ours, showed evidence to this cosmic judge that humanity, and we're not talking about just humans today, I'm talking about over the history of humanity, has been negligent and whatever other term I use. And based on that was the supporting evidence. Anyway, took our legal right and legal ownership of the 3D realm and gave it over to our cosmic attorneys that we retained some time ago. We're talking about generationally, or like that on thousands, hundreds and thousands of years. It's been going on. This whole court proceeding has been going on. So now that, how can I say? Oh God, it's okay. I started just write astrology and not tarot because it just be so long. Can I strike that out? I can. How about this? Probably too late. Because that's all I'm getting out. It's astrology. Yep. So anyway, it's important. I want to talk about it. Because I'm going to say this. We ain't seen nothing yet. I don't know what nobody else talking about or reporting other than who I've said. We ain't seen nothing yet. Why am I saying that? Remember, that other party that were formerly humanity's attorneys couldn't do what they wanted to do with this 3D realm and all that's in it. They couldn't. Why? It's because they didn't have legal right. Even on a cosmic level, they didn't have a legal right. So for all of these hundreds, even thousands of years, they've been going back and forth cosmic court. But the judge wouldn't rule. The cosmic judge wouldn't rule against humanity. Would not. And kept giving chance after chance after chance. Even having people, overseers, what they call it in the city got. I'm trying to think of what the city got in reality in our 3D realm. They got the city of Detroit end up getting a something manager. What they call? Something manager. Hi Oliver, how are you? Oh God, hi Twinkle Twinkle. I can't think they got a something manager. Gosh dang it. But to help manage. They even gave, the cosmic judge even gave us that. The something manager. I can't even think, and they did it with the city of Detroit. Same thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just using what I I've been exposed to be able to explain what is really happening. This is some deep stuff. And it gets real, it's real deep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to just talk about it and rant about it. Again, it won't be in much order. I've been, again, as usual, accumulating these notes for some time, for some months. And so I'm just trying to kind of summarize what's been going on. Anywho, I want to read these notes. Oh man, I almost had it. Detroit needed a... Was Mike Duggan and... Anyway, the judge did everything he could in his power, but we never got right. And so he's took in the legal authority that we have, an ownership of this RAM from us, dissolved it, and gave it over to these trusted attorneys. And now that they have it, they got legal right to do what they want to do. And God dang it, I almost had it, because now that they have legal right, it's things that they could do that they at one time they couldn't do because they didn't have legal authority. Now they got legal ownership over this 3D. So I'm going to give you an example of a movie that I think kind of can explain what a possibility is, because this cosmic party of attorneys now have legal right over the 3D. Jupiter Ascending. Jupiter Ascending is the movie. I remember bits and parts of it, but I remember it being about this galactic family. It was powerful, rich family, or whatever. Earth was one of their primary treasures. It's just like it. Matter of fact, it's just like that. Well, not all aspects. I hope not all aspects. I think it was eating people, drain them of their life force. Yeah, it might be just like that. Anywho, so yeah, that's crazy. I was like, because I wanted so badly for this video to be direct and short, and I wanted to be effective, and I just can't do it, because when I'm talking, I'm thinking about my past works, and I've done some past works that have dealt with everything that I'm talking about. And one of the past works that I did was called Forgive Us, God, for We Knew Not. Forgive Us, God, for We Knew Not. And that's where I went into the Christian Bible, the King James Version Bible, and I literally sat and decoded in detail, literally ripped the whole thing apart, word by word. And it was, I knew it could be decoded. I knew the Bible could be decoded, because 20-30 years ago I decoded the Bible. 25 years ago I decoded the Bible. That's what helped me come up out of the church. And I wasn't even into this. It was just by chance. I tell you, I'll be telling y'all about that too. When I was in school, I'd take a break, read the Bible, because I was in the church, and one day I just saw it differently, and I just really went to researching, and I picked up books outside of the Bible, and I started looking at definitions, and I found that the Bible is like a zip file. You unzip it, and then it tells you what it is. Well, the same thing occurred when I did the video, Forgive Us, God, for We Knew Not. And in that video, it talked about how the God of this world said that we will all know the truth. We're never able to say we didn't know. And the God of this world hired and appointed different people, or its type of people, its species, probably manifest here in its physical, to basically be in all sectors of life, whether it's entertainment or religion or whatever, and to tell the truth. And I told you to see it, tell them the truth, but in part. And I told you to say, ha ha ha. That came off from the decode and said, ha ha ha. I was kind of laughing, chuckling. We're going to tell them everything. They won't be able to say they never knew. They didn't know. They're going to know everything. So all this stuff comes out, and everything that we experience, including the movie Jupiter Ascending, or whatever it's called. So back to the movie Jupiter Ascending. I know I'm all over the place now. This is an Aquarius rant. See, y'all got to remember, when I do my studies, I'm in my head. I'm not talking. So I haven't heard myself say these things. I'm just decoding and putting it in order. And then when I get on here, I begin to speak. And when I start speaking, it like just blow my mind. Blow my mind. So I only got about 30 more minutes. I'll be on here, Aquarius, ranting and talking about astrology and bringing you up to date. 30 more minutes. So what I want to say, Jupiter Ascending, what to look for in that movie? Well, it looks like it might be everything. But what I wanted to point out about the movie was, I be all over the place. Oh, that this elite cosmic family had an interest in the various galaxies and the planets within the galaxies. But certain family members had ownership of different planets. Like, not everybody owned Earth. No. One sibling might own Earth. So let's say just in our galaxy. I ain't talking about all the rest of the galaxies and planets throughout the cosmos. Just using our galaxy as an example. And our 9 planets. It was 3 siblings in the movie. And each sibling might have had three planets. Control legal ownership of them. And Earth was owned by their mother. I think their mama wouldn't release Earth. She kept that as her own because Earth was so, just precious. It was a true treasure. Her mom kept it. Their mom kept it. But they wanted it. Especially the greedy siblings wanted it. Because Earth was what? Abundant. And it had humans. And they was consuming, they could consume humans' spirit for energy or something like that. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about how there are in the movie Jupiter Ascending or Ascent or whatever it's called, that it shows this galactic family, royal galactic family, owning these planetary bodies. The astrological interpretation of September shows the, what they call it, like, they have some legal terminology, but the transition of ownership, transference of ownership, that's a good, yeah, transference of ownership from humanity relative to Earth. There has been a legal legal transference of Earth from humanity to a very specific group, and this group was given legal ownership over Earth. Like, humanity defaulted. We didn't do right, but we didn't know we had to do right. We was bamboozled, improperly influenced, and miseducated. So it now has been transferred over to this specific party or group of attorneys that humanity retained. Anyway, they was, what they call it, doing double dealings. They was doing double dealings, and that's what I'm saying. How do we get that message to the galactic courts? They were doing double dealings and corrupt. So anyway, now that they have legal ownership of this 3D realm, they can do, with Jupiter, back to Jupiter Ascendant movie, they can sell off pieces of it. Yeah. God dang it. I almost had it about Detroit, man. Because they were selling off bits and pieces in the city of Detroit. I might as well say it, Aquarius ran. I'll keep trying to go find this term. It was something about Detroit dealt with it. They had to get some type of manager, and the manager came in and literally sold off the treasures of Detroit. I'm in Detroit. Treasures of Detroit were like, we had our own museum. Sold off the artworks or something from the museum. We owned the water. I think they sold off some of the water. We owned our own zoo, Detroit Zoo. Sold the zoo. These were Detroit treasures. Belle Isle Island, or it's like a park. They sold it off. Now the state controls it. So these were Detroit treasures that once this summer manager, God dang it, almost had it, came in to try to dissolve some of Detroit's get debt. I can't think of it. They end up selling Detroit's precious treasures off in order to try to, deal with their debts. God dang, I'm still trying to get it stuck in my mind. Not even on the tip of my tongue, my mind. Emergency manager. God dang it, got it. An emergency manager. Yep. The courts set up or approved Detroit having an emergency manager. So the emergency manager had the power and authority to come in and do what? Sell off Detroit's treasures, different parts of it, break Detroit down and sell it. The same thing can happen now. We ain't seen nothing yet. So what am I saying? We may not agree with how the world has been being managed thus far. But now, like that, this emergency manager has been established on a cosmic level relative to the 3D realm, we can actually see some real live changes that could be traumatic to humanity in the 3D realm, detrimental, etc., etc. Hopefully, I make that make sense. I'm trying to give you some real live things, a parallel that exist in our reality that you can look at, that you can pick up the newspaper and read about. This is what's really taking place relative to the cosmos, us in the bigger scheme of things, in the cosmos itself. And imagine the emergency manager that came into Detroit some years ago. One of the first things they had to do, we talking about all legal now, is they had to take an inventory of all the resources that Detroit had at its at its hand, all the resources. The same thing is standing true on this cosmic level. The courts is like keeping track, has had an inventory list, like second house of Taurus, of all the resources that Earth has. Now, you know how massive that is. We talking about cosmic, galactic. So it's greater or more macro than what I'm paralleling it with, which is the city of Detroit legal issues. We're talking about something galactic. And so what am I talking about? I'm talking about Earth and all of its resources. They're resources we never even think of. Everything from the air, the water, is different sea life we don't know about, the coral, we don't know. But the galactic court does. The cosmic level does. The creator does. Do you know when whomever the creator is created this 3D reality, when it granted humanity dominion over this earth, which means legal rights over it, legal authority over this 3D realm, the cosmic courts existed then. And that's why the creator let it be known what Earth consisted of. We don't actually know the whole formula of it. I'm trying to make something make sense. We don't actually know the whole formula of Earth. But when our creator created this 3D realm, it kept a very detailed inventory list of all that this 3D realm is composed of. And just like in our real courts, filed that with the cosmic courts. Filed it with the cosmic courts. So the courts know, the cosmic court knows every aspect of what it took to make this 3D realm. They may not know the formula or just how to arrange it, because that's, artistic skill, so I'll say. They know. So now that this emergency manager has come in, or this party of uh, double dealing attorneys that humanity hired, now that they got control, they're going to be given that inventory list minus everything we effed up to know what they can work with, to be able to do what they need to do. So I'm trying to explain this. I know this sounds like a whole bunch of story, but that's what it is. Anyway, I'm going to stop. I'm going to digress. I'm going to let it go because I got other things to do, and so I share. Anyway, I just want to read some of these notes that I have written. If you follow me, you know I don't like write stuff down and don't read it. So what reason I really want to read this is because this continues. This is a continuation of once I came up with the legal document in September after doing an interpretation of the stars. When I say in a legal document, I'm talking. So it says I such and such move to state to the court. I'm talking about it was like a real legal document. If you can right now pull out any legal document and how it's written, that's how the astrological interpretation came out. I such and such request this and that. I think it was asking for control over this 3D RAM based on X, Y, and Z supporting evidence, yada yada yada, saying that it can do this better and that. And this is why I was asking the court for this and that. This was the astrological interpretation. And the judge said, okay, I see what you're showing. Your evidence is real. And the judge had looked at all the exhibits. This is what the astrology did. And the judge ruled and said, this 3D RAM, bam, they've been found guilty. And I'm handing it over. This is what the document said. It was a document. So anyway, what am I reading? I don't know what it's going to be, but it's directly related to what I was just talking about. How the astrological alignment in September, I did in September, when it was complete, was a full legal document, correspondence. It was one party moving to request that the court basically give it, wasn't no like default judgment or something like that. It's different type of judgments you can get, but like a default judgment, like, okay, we did this, they didn't fit the stipulations, hand it over. Of course, said, okay, I'm going to hand it over. Okay, after all this time, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over because it just can't do right. Okay, anyway, it says, the structure of the astrological chart is the structure of the astrological chart is the outline for effective meta-legal communications. I wish I could get y'all to understand what I'm talking about. I know I just be talking around and stuff. But why is that important? Why does that make me clap? Why does it make me happy? It's so exciting. It's intriguing. It's because, did y'all know? I bet most of you didn't, because I didn't. But I bet most of you didn't know that there is truly such a thing as meta law. Meta law. Meta law. I'm going to read to you and tell you what meta law is. But I'm going to pose this question now. Why is there a need for meta law if ain't no meta that exists? I don't even know if that makes sense. Ride the wave with me if you can. Why is there a need for meta law if meta don't exist? Well, let me keep reading so you know what meta is. I just couldn't help myself. Anyway, the structure of an astrological chart. Y'all know what an astrological chart is? It's that thing I interpret every month. Whether it's a circle, a wheel, with all the spokes, with the little words and numbers in it, that. Or whether it's square, with little cells, with the words and numbers and planets and stuff in it. That, right there, is an outline for effective, meaning it really works. It's effective. Keeps everything in order. Ain't no second guessing it. It's following the anticipated patterns so you don't get lost. Okay. It is an effective meta-legal, what? Communication. Meta-legal communication. Anyway, let's talk about meta law. Meta law. META LAW. Now I found this later. After I did that interpretation and saw when I was done, I told y'all I done battled some law cases, working 12, 16, 18 hours a day for several years. I'll tell you, I came out victoriously. That's what I told you. But in all that time, I did a lot of writing, a lot of legal, I composed a lot of legal correspondences. So I'm familiar with the format. So when I came up with that format after doing the stars, I started looking and following the line of thought. And this is what I found out. That there's a such thing as meta law. What you need meta for? What you need meta law for if there ain't no meta? Let's find out what meta is. Anyway, the structure of the astrological chart is the outline for effective meta legal communications. Let's talk about meta law. Meta law is the entire whole thing, sum of legal rules regulating relationships between different races in the what? Universe. In the what? The universe. It's your understanding what I say, because I know I be everywhere. I get it. I understand. Listen to what I'm saying. Meta law, in short, regulates the legal proceedings, the legal communications of different species, of different races in the universe, in the cosmos. So I pose the question again. What do we need meta law for if it ain't no meta? We got meta law because there is meta. There is meta. Meaning there are other species out in our cosmos and we're corresponding back and forth with them. In this case, relative to the 3D realm, we've been going through cosmic court system. We've been going through the cosmic court system, y'all. Anyway, I ain't making this stuff up. I Googled it. All I do is follow when I get a line of thought, I follow it. If it don't offer me nothing, I back down. But if it offer me something, it picks me up on the wave, and I do what? Ride the wave. Ride the line of thought. And this is what I found. It's a real thing. It's what I'm trying to get y'all to see. It's so hard to get people to see stuff they haven't been reared to believe in or think about. This is meta law, meaning this is the correspondence and legal proceedings and legal happenings that occurs on a galactic level. In this case, it's between humanity and an opposing party. And it is all about this 3D realm. Something has had it in for humanity in this 3D realm a mighty long time. But they couldn't do anything about it. Why? Because God, our creator, gave us legal ownership of this 3D realm. So they couldn't do shit. But there were some stipulations. And then we were improperly influenced to break all the laws. For what purpose? So they could go back, these people that had an interest in taking this over or getting back at humanity, so that they could go back and tell the galactic cosmic judge that we had effed up, that we did not address to the stipulations. We didn't abide at all. We are negligent, and what's the other word? We are negligent, and what's the we negligent. I can't think of the other word. We all that. We didn't do it right. And finally, after all of this time, it's a narcissistic setup. Yes. And after all this time, the judge kept trying to give us chance after chance after chance after chance. Even gave us an emergency manager, just like Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Chance after chance after chance. But the reality is humanity is so far removed from our spiritual self. We no longer believe this. And you know what's really bad is that there are Christians that this is a part of their ideology. That shows they're not real Christians. They don't even believe in their ideology. Or they think that it's historical. And it is. But they don't know that it still exists. It's still happening. And after all these hundreds, even thousands of years, we finally lost our right to this realm. And it's in the hand of a corrupt party. And now they have the legal authority to do with this 3D realm as they will. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? And anyway, what was just so surprising, I'm going to finish reading this. What am I reading? Same thing. Now, meta law is the entire sum of legal rules regulating relationships between different races in the universe. It is a concept of space law, S-P-A-C-E, law, closely related to the scientific search for extraterrestrial intelligence, or SET, S-E-T-I, capital S, capital E, capital T, capital I. That's from Wikipedia. Anywho, categorical imperative, universal law. Universal law, ain't that something? Yeah. And I picked up on this stuff, which is so interesting. Anyway, meta law is not just about races, it's about species. It's also about behaviors and morals. Back to universal law. Also duties and responsibilities as guardians over what? This realm. This is some deep stuff. And it's so unfortunate that humans' perception and comprehension is so limited and so small that we won't allow ourselves to expand and to see these. It's like this. It's incredible, and I admit it's hard to hold on to. You said their time is almost up. A new world is being born. It is under the authority, and that's where I'm about to go next, Jordan. That's where I'm about to go next. Is to talk about this new world, the new world, the paradigm shift. That's what the astrology talk about, the paradigm shift. This paradigm shift. Remember earlier in this live, I was talking about how the powers are sick and tired of us, our rebellious ways. They are sick and tired of us. They have had to manipulate us to be self-destructive. They are sick and tired of us. Now that we're trying to stand up against the vax, the what they call it, the free sexual expression, stand up against all these these topics in which we were miseducated on, that led us to be corrupt or deemed sinful or whatever. They are sick and tired of us. Those that rebel, that try to push back, and they sick and tired. New world order. Now they own 3D realm. We ain't seen nothing yet. The astrology was saying that, I don't want to go through all the notes. It was saying that this is for this time period. No, yeah. I got so many notes. It's saying that, okay, new magic. I talked about new magic. The new magic is being implemented. Talked about the new magic being implemented. I'm going to have to go into detail. I'm going to have to make a video separate about this. The new magic. Oh, wow. One of the new magics I can recall. I'm trying to think all the notes I got. The new magic that is being used will have us. Remember, we're insecure. When I say we, I'm talking about humanity, people that create humanity during this time period and into the future. We are insecure. Our id has been wounded, but we got our game face on. We being rebellious. We pushing back or whatever the case may be. But the truth is, see, if we take away all the facade, all the fake shit, excuse my language, the truth is, the majority of the people, talking about humans, feel emotionally insecure. They don't feel love. They don't feel like they got a support system. They don't feel physically okay in this world. When I say physically okay, I'm talking about being assured that when I talk about they, I'm talking about each individual in humanity at this time and into the future, will have whatever it is that they need to ward off death and help them sustain their life and what? Die off easy. Not sure. You're not sure. And then there's a fear that's there. But yeah, we got a game face on, right? See, we not acknowledging the deep seated wound within us. The powers know about this wound. You can lie to yourself, but you can't lie to them. Put like that. You can lie to yourself, but you can't lie to them. They know about the wound. They know that you're not healing it. They know you're not going about it appropriately. Why? Because they are the ones that manipulated you into not understanding what you need to do. They the ones that set you up so the judge will see you as faulty and cause you to renege on something that you own. To, what they call it when you lose ownership of something. Renege your ownership or whatever it's called. You know, they the ones. So, talking about that wound. Imagine if you could just peel back the physical aspect of yourself and look inside at the spirit. The soul is wounded, it's hurt, it's afraid, it's scared, right? That wound right there has never healed for nobody. For nobody. Can I say? It is that wound that these powers are about to new paradigm. But they call it when you poke a wound. They're about to poke directly into the wound. How are they going to poke into the wound? New magic. The new magic. I know this is all out of order. This now, it has been an Aquarius rant. You know, just speaking it. I don't get to speak it. I just get to write it. So they're going to stick these wounds inside of us. This wound is here. They're going to poke it. That's going to poke the wound. That wound right there, remember, I try to define as the id. By Sigmund Freud, the id, the ego, da 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 da. So, right there. The magic spell, or it's not a, it's the magic, not a spell, but a magic, act. I had to get the words for it. The magic act that they're about to impose upon the masses is to force us or cause us or compel us to like be insecure. I'm gonna say really insecure. Oh my God. I'm talking about, let's start hitting a level of like hell, torment. That kind of hit the wound, torment. But you still gonna have a game face on. Might start cracking a little bit. How can I say? Because they're gonna do, it's a particular magic act they about to do on us, or spell cast on us, and it is to. Where is it at, son? Yesterday was, if I just, I don't know which is too much. Oh, that's it here. Okay. Oh, yep, there we go. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna read these notes. Let's see here. This is for November 16th. November 16th. Now, I'm just going to read the summaries that I have. I don't know if it's going to make sense. I'm going to read them. Hopefully I can, trigger my memory and then make it make sense. So, it says, emotionally insecure and unstable. I just talked about it. The id, the wound. That's what it's talking about here in this summary. Emotional insecurity, emotionally insecure and unstable. The next thing I have here is just a summary. As you can see, all I'm reading is the green part. So, emotional emotional sensitivity based on one's life, whether experienced or witnessed. Same thing, the id, I explained it and talked about how the id is wounded, and I gave an example of that story time with Orson Welles about the alien invasion and the Holocaust and just all that, you know what I'm saying, not feeling secure and stable, anything liable to happen. They might drop a BOMB like in the 1950s when the kids had to get under the desk. These are all the things that I've talked about or we've talked about on my channel. So let me see. It says, one always has the opportunity to change or for change. Now that's the one positive light I've seen in all of this. It's saying, humanity, you always got an opportunity to change. But it's what we have to do to change, to make the change that we want, and we're not doing it. It's like we're trying to take a shortcut, or number one, I know it's that we don't want to open our eyes to all these weird, crazy concepts that I'm talking about and other people talking about. That's the first step. You got it. What do they say when you go to alcohol? A person goes to Alcoholic Anonymous or Drug Anonymous or Addiction Anonymous or whatever. He said the first step is acceptance. That's the first thing. We can't go any further before we accept what I'm talking about. And it's not just what I'm talking about. It's what many people have been talking about. If we don't accept that because it's our reality, we just been, again, old magic spell that's been cast upon us so that we can't see. So that we would never look. So that we'll never accept what I'm talking about and other people be talking about as truth. It's impossible. It's impossible. It's against religion. It's antichrist. It's demonic. It doesn't make sense. You're not intelligent enough. Whatever the case, whatever excuse that we have to use to make sure, that we don't accept it. That's what we do. That's the old magic spell. It's a new one coming now. New magic spell. Anyway, reading these notes because it's time for me to go. I done rambled and messed all up, but that's okay. Maybe get down to you can process it the same way I got to process it. And I got to process it on different levels. I'm processing it now through literally talking and hearing myself talk about it. Different phases. You always get a chance for opportunity. Always got an opportunity for change. And I did talk about it before. It did come up the last time I made my report. And I paralleled it to the spider web and humanity feeling like insects being stuck in a spider web. And I was talking about how does an insect break free of a spider web. And we went over that during my last couple of live streams, how you break free of a web, So we talked about, making that change, necessary change from that perspective. This time it's brought it back up and it just says simply, it's always opportunity for a change. You take it. What I want to point out here, and I often try to point things like this out, is that I don't come up with the symbolism. Like when I did the old astrological interpretation report, I didn't come up with the spider web and the insect and everything. No, the astrology talked about it. That means astrology said, okay, this is an example if you want to know how to break free. Study this here, which is the spider web and the insect that gets stuck in it and the other bugs or whatever they get stuck in. How do they get out? That's what the astrology said. If you want to know how to get out, I'm going to give you some clues. Here you go. I didn't do it. Astrology did. That's what it said. It gave us some examples. It brings back this time, and it don't go into detail. It don't even give us an example of how to get out. It just says, remember, it's always An opportunity for change. That's all this is. Because it's been told us over the last, I know, 3 or 4 years, it's been gave us different examples about how to get out of this situation. But we're not executing those suggestions. We're not, we're not. Acceptance of what really is first and foremost. Now it says it's always an opportunity for change. Anyway, going on. What was this about? Anyway, it says who is socially more important? Who is socially more important? We talked about this whole the whole subject about who's important in society. We've talked about it from different perspectives. This is a perspective of those that are socially acceptable or fit the standards are more important than anybody else, that other people that don't. We've talked about those that are highly intelligent are more important than those that are not. And we, through my research and reports and our conversations, we have shown on this channel that the most important people in this world are those that have the perspective of God. They have the intellect of God. So what am I talking about that for? Because astrology say who's the most important in the world. Who's more important in society? It's those that have the perspective of God. It's those that have this is what's really highlighted too. They have formulated the dominant ideologies and the philosophies. Those are the most important people in society. So it asks that. It says redefining one's social standing and or position, new world order. And I want to talk about that, but all this stuff I can do a whole, I can do a video on every single subject matter I've talked about here for several hours. Unclear what life will render. Social caste system. Oh yeah. And how the new social caste system is being erected, established. There are those that will still sit on top of the hierarchy, and there will be the bottom feeders. Yeah, it's being inserted, and that's all attached to the new magic spell or work or whatever call it. I gotta get some terms for it. That's not what I was gonna read. You said bravo, intelligent of God. The mind of God is what we need. The mind of God is what the people need, but we cannot have the mind of God when it's so shut down that a person won't even take in consideration what I'm talking about, and other people like myself talk about is truth. Won't even consider it. Won't even consider it at all. You can't have the mind of God. That's one example. You can't have the mind of God. You cannot be biased as far as race and things like that and have the mind of God. You cannot ignore the value of the divine laws and have the mind of God. See, with the mind of God, you understand why there are divine laws or natural laws. And you understand why you have to sacrifice and abide by them. That's the mind of God. The mind of God understands, when I talked about there is, what was it called? The absolute truth. You understand the truth. And I went over that. I don't want to be long when it's time for me to move and do something else. But it's this, it's a whole thing about the absolute truth. That the consciousness of, we can say, negative thoughts and concepts and going against the natural laws is perfect. It has a result. It's perfect. It's still perfect. It's absolute truth. But then there's another absolute truth, that there are rules, policies, and regulations and stuff you gotta abide by, and stipulations or whatever else to have a utopia. Absolute truth. It's all perfection. It's all one. That's the mind of God. And we're talking about the masses don't have that. Now there's something wrong with that when we're supposed to. We're supposed to. That's some deep stuff. And because we don't have the mind of God, we can't see how we being played. It have been played, but there's always chance for opportunity for change. Anywho, What should I talk about? Because I gotta go. Just been all over the place. I'm gonna finish reading this. What is this? I'm going back to meta law because there's a law of proceedings that have been taking place on a cosmic level. So I'm continuing. Humanity or all individuals that exist during a particular time frame during the existence of man. God's original covenant with man. Okay, I talk about man, God's original covenant with man. Okay, and I have here, I want to read Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 to 28. And this is the original contract that God set up with man. And chapter 26 says, and God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Okay, well, then and I got the example, the truth. If I read that clear enough and pronounced my words clear, what was I doing? I was just quoting or sharing the original contract set up between man and a creator that's offered in Christianity, written out in the King James Version Bible in the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verses 26 to 28. It's the original contract between man and God, where he gives man dominion over the earth or ownership. Another example, still dealing with the book of Genesis, but chapter 1 through 25 has to do with, like in astrology, the sixth house. In astrology, or sixth house matters is what I call it. Is sixth house the house of Virgo, and it talks about details. In this case, what details are we talking about? We're talking about the inventory list of all the resources here on earth, including ourselves and our soul. That's chapter 1 through 25 in Genesis chapter 1. Genesis chapter 1 verses 1 through 25 is this inventory list. It's the inventory list starting with what? Creation. So on the first day or whatever, or in the beginning, God created the heavens and earth, and it was the end of the first day. So we're starting the building of the inventory list from the foundation, from the beginning of the creation of the third dimension. And that's just in the Christian Bible. I don't have time to, like I tell you, I got art books and all kind of stuff I can go refer to. But y'all see how long my videos are. I would never get off YouTube, and I would never start rambling and ranting. And then I could always go, well, I can't go to library no more due to our current circumstance. So my whole point is I can pull up evidence from any culture, in any aspect of life in support of this. It ain't just stuff I got laying around the house. The stuff I got laying around the house is because what? At one time or another, Christianity was Christianity, Baptist, Buddhist, Pentecostal was my primary religion. So I got that kind of stuff laying around the house. And I know it like the back of my hand because I spent a lot of years in it. We're ascending to the fifth D, new earth. The reason they're doing all this because they know their time is up and they can't ascend. Okay. And it's not for them to ascend, it's for us to ascend. These people, based on what my understanding, Jordan, is they already ascended. They call them sometimes ascended masters. The Queen Elizabeth is an ascended person. She's highly conscious, very aware, has the God mind. They already ascended. It's humanity, it's the people, the masses that are not ascended. Mine is low. I told you. And I kept telling y'all, say, hey, when I interpret these stars, they saying we are morons. There's a portion of the population that's morons or idiots or sub-intellect. And I was like, it ain't me, y'all. It's them saying that. I meant what I was saying. And they saying it. We are the ones that have not ascended. We awaken. That was the first step to ascending. Is to wake up. They had to realize it's like those old magic spells that were cast upon us, they begin to fade. Is the period that we went through, the astrological period that we went through, that magic spell began to fade. and has given us the opportunity to what? Ascend. But they about to, we move it, we so, in this time period, like, say we had 30 seconds to wake up and then start doing what we need to do to ascend. Them 30 seconds were critical, very vital. But we was too busy fighting and arguing and running up on the Capitol and dealing with the vid and the vax and the unemployment and we was arguing with people was lynching motherfucking, doing all those kind of things, just all kind of racial stuff, doing all kind of abuse. We just doing all kind of corrupt acts. Those kind of things they showed this cosmic judge. About us, like, we was doing all that. 30 seconds we had, vital, to go ahead and critical moment to wake up, and we didn't do it. Nope, we was doing everything else we could do. They was bombing up. Oh, don't say the B word. They was booming up buses and synagogues, and we was arguing about sexuality and transgenderism and feminism, and we was putting our neon folks. We was doing all that vital time, critical time to wake up, and so we wasted that time. Now they got these other spells. I haven't even gone into detail about it. I'm gonna have to come back live some other time. Kind of go. And we got these other spells they about to lay down on us. So now I'm about to put folks back to sleep. I got to come back live. Maybe, I don't know when. Who knows? Tomorrow maybe. I got to read. Okay, 5 more minutes. I'm pushing myself. Because I got something else to do. So we have, we're talking about Genesis chapter 1. Verses 1 through 25 is the inventory list, the preliminary inventory list of the resources of this earth that were, again, it was given to the court. It was filed with the court, cosmic court. Then it goes chapter 26 to 30. It was contract negotiations that were taking place. Contract negotiation between what? The first original man, which is Adam, was with Adam. That's the first contract negotiation. Okay, as an example. Okay, what it says, meta law, Constantine, the judge, let's see. Process of effective meta law communication. Right at our fingertips. Astrology charts. Okay. And over here, I'm not going to go into this. This is when I went and grabbed my interpretation of the astrological message. And I was pulling out the legal terms like I am. And nice chatting with you too, George. I am having support of what was it? Oh yeah. And like, I'm just give you some. And I tried to do this earlier. Like, first house of Aries, motto is I am, and it's masculine fire. Starting to deal with legal terminology, it says I am what? I'm Nancy, or I am whatever your straw man name is. Talking about the legal, that is a legal document or legal communications. It says I am that I am. Oh, that was another thing. This how I knew it was the judge. It said in the beginning, it said I am. This is what the astrological energy. I'm speeding up, y'all, because I got something to do. The cosmic judge, when responding, to those closing remarks offered by each party or attorneys, retained attorneys. When the judge responded, the cosmic judge said, I am that I am. I was like, woo. I was like, is it about to start? I remember when I was like, is it about to start again? What was I getting excited about or a little concerned about is that the astrology, as I was interpreting, was about to start with the legal terminology again. And whoever the cosmic judge is, says, I am, first house of Aries, I am that I am. Now, who said that? I'm going to let y'all go on that note. Now, who said that? I'm like, you can't make this stuff up. And it kept going on.